10 years ago on 9/11, I was working in Center City, Philly, in an office, listening to morning radio, and they talked about the plane hitting that first tower, and everybody at the time, I guess, thought that it was an accident. We went into the break room, and we're watching the TV coverage, and the second plane hits, and we knew at that time it wasn't an accident. We get out of work early, I'm in the streets, there's complete chaos everywhere, and you go home and you watch the news, and you watch those images over and over and over again. And we just knew at that time that this country would never be the same.
Looking back at 9/11, I can recall that memory vividly. I was in Atlanta managing the Philadelphia Phillies, turned on the television set and couldn't believe what was happening before my eyes. Obviously, the initial response was I really felt sorry for the moms and dads that went to those buildings, the Trade Center buildings, and never came home that night. And my other emotion was I was very angry that this could happen to us, the greatest country in the world. But looking back on it, it made us stronger, and we're a much stronger country as I speak right now.
I was sitting in my house when the 9/11 tragedy happened, and I remember thinking that it couldn't be real. And once I turned on the television and realized it was real, I got incensed that we had allowed these terrorists to affect our lives. And it was only a matter of time before the American spirit prevailed, especially when it came to sports. We mourned, but then we had to get back to regular activity to show the world that that wasn't going to deter us.
9/11, I was actually a senior in high school, and I remember being in the guidance counselor's office working in first period, and they had a TV there, and CNN was on, and couldn't really believe it happened. We ended up getting out of school early that day. Football practice was canceled, so it was pretty strange. It's just going to be cool this Sunday, which is September 11th, to have the NFL Week 1 and also to be doing, my show on Sundays.
I'll never forget the day of 9/11. I was in an Italian class, private tutor, and I came out, and every station I hit on the radio on the drive home was talking about the Twin Towers, New York City, what just happened. So immediately when I get home, I turn the TV on, and like almost every other American, and almost every other citizen around the world, I was glued to the TV. It was just the most dramatic thing I'd ever seen on TV. And it was one of those things where I had every thought and emotion going through my brain from, well, my friends that work in New York, what are they doing? Are they getting out? The visions of people jumping out the window, the burning buildings. I sat there all day long and didn't move.
Yeah, 9/11, 10 years ago, I was in the DC area that morning. Never forget waking up and turning on the Today Show and seeing the plane going into the tower. And ended up getting in the car and driving into DC to get our paychecks for this job that I was working in. We were the only car heading into the district. Drove home that night in the dark from DC to Philly, and I was basically the only car on the road. It felt like the whole planet was deserted. It was very bizarre. I'll never forget it. And how it's affected me, I think, is really, it's given me such an appreciation for the first responders, because I kind of took those people for granted until that day. And I'll never forget that.